We're ready whenever you're ready. Norman, do we really have to do this? Isn't there something else we can do? Can't we find some other way? Marilyn, I think we had this conversation. You know everything. You understand everything. And even after understanding everything, this is what you're saying? What choice do we have? Just about a week ago, Gavin had fractured his foot while shoveling snow in the front yard. Though the injury wasn't anything serious, doctors said with rest he'd be better in 2 weeks, and with strain, it might take months and he'd risk himself of lifelong pain. So, without choice, Gavin took leave from work and has been home. His wife Nicole had been a lot of help, but Gavin was having trouble sleeping and was, most of all, extremely bored. In the dead of winter, there was nothing to do but linger on his laptop or stare out the window. New neighbors. Is that? What are you looking at? We have new neighbors. Wow, they seem like a nice couple. Yeah, but there is something about that woman. What about her? She seems familiar. What are you saying? Are you attracted to her? Well, she is beautiful. Right, except for me, you find every other woman attractive. Hello, your coffee is getting cold. The house opposite to theirs had been vacant for some time now, before this new couple moved in. Though Nicole didn't think much of it. From that day on, she noticed how Gavin was almost obsessively checking out next door, constantly looking out the window or taking a glance from their porch. Gavin, what is it you've been looking at? Look at the second floor window. Seems like they're fighting. So why pry in their business? You never know. These minor things end up becoming serious. Like what? He mistreats her? She just seems a little off to me. Her expressions, her body language. Alright, I think that's enough of you watching her. As the weeks went by, Gavin's foot had recovered quite a lot, and he was able to get around. It was one of these nights, while Gavin was watching next door. He saw the woman come out to throw the trash. It was snowing out. But Gavin immediately put on his slippers and rushed outside. Meeting each other's gaze, Gavin waved at her as she crossed the road to her side. Hi. Hello. I'm Gavin. We're neighbors. Marilyn. It was almost within minutes, however. Marilyn's husband followed her out. What happened, darling? What's taking so long? The man stared at Gavin with a cold glare. Hello. Welcome to our neighborhood. I live right across the street. I'm Gavin Spencer. Norman Roth. Nice to meet you. It's quite cold out. Marilyn, shall we go in? Yes, honey. Did you just go out in this cold so you can talk to her? Yeah. Are you out of your mind? What is it with you? Or have you been crushing on her or something? No, sweetheart, it's not like that. It's just something about her. It feels like she's in some kind of danger, like she needs help. Did she say something? No, her husband came. Gavin, let their matters be theirs. It's like you're literally stalking them. Nicole didn't understand this obsession Gavin suddenly had about this woman, but now, even she was curious. What is it about her? Hi, I'm Nicole. We're neighbors. I saw you moved in recently, so I thought I'd bring a little gift. Oh, thank you. I'm Marilyn. Would you like to come in? Sure. Nicole watched as Marilyn looked back inside before allowing her in. She looked a little nervous. Stepping inside, Nicole looked around at a neat and perfect house. Nice place. Thank you. Please have a seat. As Nicole sat down, her husband joined them. Wow, what a pleasant surprise. I didn't know we had such a beautiful neighbor. I'm Norman Roth. As Norman sat opposite to her, Nicole felt quite uncomfortable. It was as if his eyes were glued to her. Yes, I'm Nicole. We're next door neighbors. You've probably met my husband, Gavin? Ah, yes. We spoke last night. Well, I just wanted to welcome you too. I think I should get going. No, please, have some coffee with us. I'm sorry, Mr. Roth. Perhaps another day. Barely managing to escape his eyes, Nicole got out of there and rushed back home. Where did you go? I went next door to give them a housewarming gift and... And? What? Did you see something? I think you're right. There's something creepy about that man. The whole time he was staring at me really strange. You see? I told you. For the next few days, Gavin continued to keep his eye next door. Now and then, he saw guests arrive and go, but nothing seemed out of the ordinary. In all this, Gavin had to join work again. But it was one night, when he returned home, he found Nicole waiting for him. What is it, sweetheart? Nicole opened up his laptop and turned it over to him. She had discovered his little secret. Pictures and videos of Marilyn, and not just any kind, that kind. So this is what they are. And this is what you've been doing. This is why you're so obsessed with her. You watch her videos. Okay, I admit I saw her videos before. But that's not the reason why I've been watching her. There's really something about her. It's almost like she's pleading for help, whether in her performance or just look into her eyes. Tell me you don't see it. Really? So now you think you have some special connection with her. It's not just your lust or desire, you're emotionally connected with her now. This is why I didn't tell you. I knew you would take it in the wrong sense. But trust me, Nicole, watch her yourself. It really seems like she's in trouble. Absolutely not. And you aren't going to watch. Suddenly hearing a loud noise from next door. Gavin and Nicole immediately went to their window. They could hear Norman shouting at her, but they couldn't make out what the fight was about. You see, I told you, it's not what you think, it's something else. I think we should call the cops. The couple immediately reported everything to the cops anonymously. I hope they come soon. It was within 10 minutes. The cops arrived. Nicole and Gavin watched eagerly as Norman opened the door. The cops went inside, but a while later, they came out laughing. Thank you for the coffee, Mr. Roth. Don't mention it, officer. It's always nice to have company over. What is going on? Did he bribe them? Or maybe it's nothing. You've gone crazy. The next few days, Gavin and Nicole didn't hear or see anything unusual. There were no fights, no noises, just quiet. But then, 2 nights later, Gavin saw Marilyn out to throw the trash again. But this time, instead of throwing it on her side, she crossed over to theirs and threw it out in their trash. What is she doing? Suspicious and curious, Gavin went and checked the trash. There it was, a note. Meet me at the park, 11 p.m. tomorrow. I need help. Don't tell anyone. I knew it. The next night, right before 11, Gavin went to the park and waited for Marilyn. But strange as it was, an hour, 2 hours passed by, and she didn't show up. As the snow began to fall, Gavin fell in doubt if she would come at all. Maybe she can't. Maybe he's with her. So eventually, Gavin thought he'd go home himself. It was past 2 a.m. when he reached home. Why is the door open? Did Nicole wake up? Nervously stepping inside the dark house. Nicole? But it was silent. Nicole? Reaching their bedroom, Gavin turned on the lights. When he froze from what he saw. There on the floor, Nicole lay in a pool of her own blood. Nicole? Nicole! Someone had taken her life. But before Gavin could gather himself, he heard a knock on the door. could have done this? Was it them? Now what do I do? Yes, officers? Are you Mr. Gavin Spencer? Yes. We received a complaint that your wife was heard screaming. May we take a look? She's asleep. It's no problem, officers. As Gavin tried to close the door, the officer stopped him, his eyes suddenly falling on the blood-stained shirt. Step aside, or we'll have to use force. Police immediately barged into the house, and discovering Nicole's body in that condition, they arrested Gavin. It wasn't me. I wasn't home. I came home to find her like this. Someone intruded. But nothing Gavin said mattered to the police, who dragged him into the car. Marilyn. She is from a broken family. She didn't know her father. Her mother suffered from a mental illness and had to be kept at a nursing home. And her elder sister got married and cut off all relations with them. Marilyn was only 17, working a night job at a bar, trying to make ends meet and support her mother. And it was there she first met Norman. The usual? Yeah, make it stronger. It's been a tough day. Norman was working in construction, and he would come to the bar every night and drink to lessen the aches and pains from the labor. The two used to talk, and over time they became close. It was one night when Norman came to the bar. He didn't see Marilyn. Finding her in the back, Norman saw her crying. What happened? It's nothing. You can tell me. My boss, he's just horrible. I wish I didn't have to work here, but what choice do I have? Hey, Barbie, what the hell are you doing here? You ain't getting paid to cry. Get to the counter. Don't talk to my girl like that. Marilyn, come with me. That night, they got together. Marilyn left that job and moved in with Norman, and he supported her and even sent money for her mother. Soon after, they got married, and when Marilyn found herself a better job, the couple was doing well. But everything turned around when the pandemic hit, and they went into lockdown. Marilyn not only lost her job, but she fell ill. Those months went horribly, but it was Norman who took care of her and nursed her to health. And in all this, when Norman too got fired, things became difficult. And it was then that Norman began manipulating her to make money by entertaining other men. No one's going to know. It'll be private. And once I get my job, you won't have to do this. But now, what option do we have? We'll be on the streets, Marilyn. Feeling indebted to Norman for everything he did, Marilyn agreed. At first, it was online, but soon, as one thing led to another, Norman began forcing her into worse things. Marilyn was making decent money, but she wasn't happy doing this. And oftentimes, she and Norman would have fights, but he'd always subdue her with his words or with his dominance. In all this, Marilyn realized Norman wasn't just forcing her to do this, but he was involved with bad company, and he had gotten her involved. She couldn't just leave him. Norman would find her. Her life was in danger. But when they moved here, and Marilyn noticed Gavin and Nicole, she got hope that perhaps they could help her. But Norman, too, had realized Gavin had become suspicious of them. And he would never let anyone take away from him his gold mine, Marilyn. It was none other than Norman who made Marilyn leave that note for Gavin. He wanted to set my bird free, and now he'll be caged himself.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.